Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Finders FinTech Specialist says Cardano ADA will hit $2.79 by year end, $8.15 by 2025, and $58 plus by 2030. Now, I don't even want to tell you how many Cardano I had back in the day when I was on Binance Malta, for those of you remember back prior to having to get off of there if you were a US resident. This was back in 2017. Oh my gosh, I had a lot of it. And when they forced us to get off of that Binance Malta platform if you were in the US, I converted everything to XRP, which I'm very happy about. But, you know, obviously I got rid of my position in ADA, and then I got like a small position back. And then as we know, ADA went up over $3. And if I had remained in that position in Cardano, it would have been remarkable. But, you know, there again, you know, you never know these things. I try to put a lot of nets in the water, and sometimes you just get caught when you consolidate. But looking right here, this is a situation, ladies and gentlemen, that I just don't think is going to get any better, but it is getting bigger, right? And I tell you, I think, you know, a good friend of mine said, you know, when things happen, you can either be one or two things, better or bitter. Yeah, shout out to Mark H for that one. And he's right. And in this situation, I think this one's going to end up being bitter, and I don't want it to be, but 3 U.S. senators distrust the adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender in the Central American country El Salvador, and the president responded, El Salvador is not a colony of the United States. But remember, that's not the issue for me. The issue for me is that he's getting a lot of attention, and it's negative attention, not only from the United States, but from the IMF, who have shot a couple across his bow saying, do not make Bitcoin legal tender, and he did it anyway. I don't know. I think there's more to come on that. I don't think this is done by a long shot, but we'll keep an eye on it. And this isn't done by a long shot. This is the SEC versus Ripple. We now have the declaration of Melinda Hardy. And I think we're going to have it explained best. Shout out to TAIG for this one and all the redacted information. What I'm going to do is take you through this, because I had a post here, a tweet here, and it was picked up by John Deaton. Shout out to you, my friend. And first of all, I said SEC's Melinda Hardy's declaration, number 8. I clued in on this, and I'll tell you who else got zeroed in on this too, was an old Hall of Famer from this channel, Kwee LaRue. That's right. And we both saw this, and it kind of stuck out to us. This is a partial quote from there. The speech was providing guidance that would indicate to the public how staff throughout the SEC would handle issues relating to digital assets. But the judges ruled it's a personal opinion from William Hinman's speech. And now the SEC is actually claiming that it's not personal opinion of William Hinman, nor is it the view of the SEC. They're now claiming it is the view and position of corporate finance department within the SEC. I tell you, this is just getting uglier by the day. And here's Jeremy Hogan here. He says, I'm reading it, but can't quite believe it. Now the speech wasn't Hinman's personal opinion at all, but intended to convey the Department of Corporate Finance's position on digital assets. In the legal world, this is as crazy as it gets. The Ripple lawyers must be chomping at the bit. And I tell you, oh, so now it's not the SEC or William Hinman's favor to the ETH and the ETH gate. It's the whole Department of the Corporate Finance. Got it. This is exactly what they're saying here. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand this. Although we're very grateful for the lawyers that actually share their insights, because I tell you, this is something to follow. But if it's not William Hinman's personal opinion, if it's not the opinion and viewpoint of the SEC as a whole agency, but now is in fact the view and position of the Department of Corporate Finance, now they're claiming, the SEC lawyers are literally claiming that it is the Department of Corporate Finance's position that has created favor for one particular network, which is Ethereum, which is really ETHgate. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is a huge problem. And I hope that we see this new division created by the FBI, NCET, NCET. I hope we see them pick up ETHgate as their first case. You know, there's even more here. In honor of the SEC's 180, John Deaton shares another tweet here from back in December, and it's Title V. And Title V says the use of public office for private gain. You know, this is a problem. This is a real problem, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a real problem from William Hinman. Oopsies. SEC that it's said it's his personal opinion. You provided and profited off your personal opinion from your very public seat. How does it feel not having a friend at the SEC? You've been sold to the state, as they say. And that's exactly what's happened here. They've had William Hinman sign affidavits claiming he's anywhere near the SEC. He just used to eat lunch here, right? He's just some guy used to clean bathrooms here. He signed sworn affidavits. That is not the opinion of the SEC. It's the Department of Corporate Finance now. It's not even William Hinman's opinion. I tell you, what a mess this is. What a mess this is. Well, speaking of a mess, we try to clean it up by bringing in, pundits and experts from around the digital asset space. Fox has done exactly that. They brought in Kurt Werkert Jr. on Fox Business. He is a CoinGeek Bitcoin historian. And in this 40-second clip, they ask him what's the difference between Ethereum and XRP. And you know why they're asking, because over at Fox, they understand what they're onto here. Take a listen.
Is there some difference between Ether and XRP?
Not in my opinion, no. Ethereum was issued in a crowd sale. It was arguably the first ICO. We've heard from Vitalik Buterin and Joe Lubin on stage that they issued it the way they issued it in order to raise money so they could create Ethereum 2.0. And if you recall, this whole thing that Ethereum is not a security is based largely on the opinion of Hinman, who basically said it just barely made its way through because of proof of work, which is something we know is on the roadmap of Ethereum to get away from. So I think the argument that Ethereum is not a security is a paper-thin argument at best.
Yeah, well said, Kurt. I tell you, well said. Thanks to Kurt for coming in and clearing that up. Now, with that in mind, I do have to say, and this is not to be combative because we appreciated Kurt's opinion and I agree with it broadly, but here it is. Is there a difference between XRP and ETH? You bet there is. XRP did it the right way and ETH got a free pass. In short, that's what the hell we know about that. But it gets better because hopefully, and look, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Let's hope that the new Justice Department, NCET, decides to pick up Ethereum as its first case, because it is not just a civil matter for the SEC, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no. We're talking about disguised accounts and identities in order to make the Ethereum network appear to be more decentralized than it probably actually is. That's criminal. Yeah. Somebody get out those silver bracelets. Yeah. We need to get this going here. Seriously, there's a real problem here. You want to restore integrity back into the SEC? You don't do it by trying to say it was his personal opinion, it was the agency's personal opinion, now it's just one division's personal opinion. Let's start arresting people. I bet we figure out whose opinion it is in. Yeah, let's start doing that. No more golf on Saturday morning. You're going to jail. And I bet we start getting to the bottom of this real quick. All right, let's change gears here. Let's look at the bright side, because there is one. And it's coming here this morning from Fame21 More, XRP Darren. Shout out to you. You should be following him if you're not. KFH, Kuwaiti Finance House. provides several distinguished digital services, swift transfer of funds to KFH, turnkey using RippleNet, digital wallet service, smart mobiles, and watches, which provide the latest smart digital methods in collaboration with Samsung, Fitbit, Garmin, and many other e-banking services. How about that? All tied back to RippleNet. Come on in. All of this made me think about what I have been showing you from the Sunshine Meeting Act and what we're hearing from the SEC itself. They have recently voted to unanimously shorten the settlement time for derivatives and securities transactions. And they are going to explore using distributed ledger technology to do so. I do not find it very hard to believe or out of the realm of possibility that XRP Ledger, which is a decentralized exchange to the world, could play an important role in helping solve that issue and get that shortened settlement times. I want to play for you right here a clip from just about a week or so ago of them voting to explore distributed ledger technology and speed up settlement time, and the unanimous vote. Take a listen.
The ever-increasing pace of advancements in technology, including distributed ledger technology, further shortening the standard settlement cycle in the near future may be both desirable and feasible. Indeed, some such efforts are already underway.
Okay, so she just said distributed ledger technology, and indeed, some such efforts are already underway. Keep listening.
Today we do have those technologies not only to shorten the settlement cycle to 1 day, but also to shorten key elements of what's called the clearing process, that which goes on before. Also, I think rather important, it requires 3 important steps in that clearing process. The back office plumbing process of affirmation, i.e. to fully automate transaction processing.
So now we're talking about the back end plumbing and to fully automate the transaction process. Keep listening.
Again, lowering risks in the system. Now, separately, the Commission is also issuing a robust request for comment around areas to consider with respect to potentially achieving same-day net settlement in the future. Net, because it's still netting positions, but possibly moving the money, moving the securities in the evening or end of day.
Really quickly, we know that the XRP Ledger can settle transactions within 3 to 5 seconds, but you remember there's still legacy systems that are connected from one end to the other with something like the XRP Ledger or some other distributed ledger technology in between it. Keep listening.
Technology actually exists today, not just for same-day affirmation, confirmation, and allocations, but even for same-day settlement. How do commissioners vote on the division's recommendations to amend the Securities Exchange Act on clearing and settling?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. The recommendation is approved unanimously.
And there you have it. They have approved the vote to shorten the settlement time and to explore the use of distributed ledger technology. Like again, it is not out of the realm of possibility to look at what the potential of using the XRP Ledger could do to help and aid in that settlement. Okay, now look, let's talk about this because again, we're talking about here when I don't know about you, when I think about market infrastructure and how we hear about all these years Ripple has been building the market infrastructure, and I think about literally plumbing pipes, to kind of get my mind around these things, cables being run, and but we know that there's satellites and all of this business being used in place of these things. But nevertheless, a visual really helps me, and let's see if we can get it up here. Take a look at this. So when I think about it, I'm thinking now more in a macro sense, and not just like plumbing pipe from one bank to another bank, bank A to bank B, which certainly is a very real thing. But let's think about the infrastructure in the macro sense here. Look at SWIFT. SWIFT is really being dismantled by RippleNet, and the fact that all the banking partners that use SWIFT are now on RippleNet. They're still using SWIFT, but I think there's going to be a tipping point where RippleNet could become the digital arm of SWIFT, whether it's a merger acquisition or some kind of a collaboration that takes place. I think it's something to really consider because SWIFT doesn't have the GPI that they offer as a new solution is not a solution. It cannot do what RippleNet can do in settlement. But then you have to have, if you're going to have RippleNet and a new digital arm for SWIFT, you're going to have some kind of new digital arm and settlement for clearinghouses, because clearinghouses go with SWIFT and they work hand in hand. You can't have one piece of this puzzle digitized and tokenized and the other not. So is it possible that PolySign becomes a digital side for settlement for the clearinghouses, the Depository Trust Clearing Corporation? I'm speculating here, obviously. But how far off are we before we're able to put a check beside SWIFT and RippleNet? I don't think very far. How far off are we before we can put a check beside PolySign being the digital arm to help the clearinghouse that does $1.6 quadrillion a year in settlement to be able to transition to the digital age? And how far off would we be before we could put a check here that Ripple and the fact that there is 45 to 50 billion XRP in escrow could become the backstop for the Federal Reserve and all that money that's been printed, putting us in an extremely vulnerable position because of a liquidity crisis and a global shutdown because of a pandemic. That's going to do it for me. Before we get out of here, in case you didn't see it in this morning's video, the points to pay attention to going through the weekend: support lines for XRP, 74 cents and 70 cents. You know it's 65 cents below that. We're looking for $1.23 and $2.03, $3.36 and $4 plus on the high side. All these targets according to technical analysts, including CoinsKit. Give them all a follow. They're really wonderful the way they share their information. And you know what? It's amazing to me that what we're going through with the lack of clarity and the lawsuit itself, that all of these price targets are still within reach.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.